Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently down 3.1% to 16,273. Ethereum is down 6.93% to 1142. In yesterday's video, when we looked at total crypto market cap, we could see that the entire crypto market was challenging this 795.021 billion, and this is a smart money sell level, and it's across the entire crypto industry. We said if Bitcoin and the alts get above this particular smart money sell level and turn it to support, that's going to look really, really good for the crypto market. Unfortunately, what we saw was the exact opposite. That sell wall was very solid and pushed crypto's price down. We always know price is always moving in a wave, rule 4. And the institutions are always trying to desynchronize you. And this is precisely why we do our daily three-dimensional risk management code, because we're interested. What happens if the market goes against us? Always consider the down possibility first. How would it affect your portfolio? And to read what this BORSOG code actually means, you can read this light text here. It just explains it. So one of the things that we do is to always think about if price goes against us first, if it goes neutral second, or if it goes in our favor thirdly. And typically, when people get into the market, they only consider the upside because they go long at spot or long under leverage. In our community, we actually go long at spot. We don't try to short. Because shorting, unless you know precisely what you're doing, comes with unlimited risk. It can wipe out your entire portfolio and then more. And well done to everybody who popped in their BORSOG codes in yesterday's video. And there were some very lively discussions on fear and how to actually deal with fear. And it's important that you do your BORSOG code each and every day. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. What matters is you're actively learning. What was quite incredible about this weekend was just the amount of turbulence inside the market. We could see that the longs came out of the market because they were getting liquidated. And we saw actually 126.14 million in total liquidations across 50,306 positions. This is really unlike weekend trading. Weekend trading is not like this at all. 20 to 30 million is quite common. 126, wow, that is a lot of liquidations. And across the past 24 hours, about 85% of total liquidations were long. Across the past 12 hours, about 90% long. Past 4 hours, about 92%. And the past hour, say 85%. So we can see a lot of longs were liquidated across the weekend. But typically, especially this kind of day in weekend trading, Sunday, is very, very small. But not today, not yesterday, depending on what time zone you are in the world. What actually occurred? Why did crypto come down like this? From a structural perspective, Bitcoin did not manage to hold on to its smart money support line, buy line, at 16,649. It actually lost that, and we can see Bitcoin is currently 16,273. What are the next SL or the next Stanfield levels? We've got a higher resistance or a higher sell level at $17,093 and a lower one at $15,758. Always do your three-dimensional risk management and three-dimensional thinking. Know what you will do with your entire portfolio or any specific trade if price continues to come down. If it goes flat, goes neutral, know what you will do. And if it goes up, know what you will do too. You need to have 3 scenarios for every trade and also your entire portfolio. When we look at Bitcoin, it is conceivable that we could see something like this, trying to retest this smart money buy level at 15,758. However, you could get a reversal as well. Just be wary of actually thinking about things in terms of certainty. Certainty is all about Zone 1 and Zone 2. They're very, very high stress zones. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we talk about probability, and that's a very, very different thing to focus on. How do we gain context on probability? We can look at the main markets and what they did. We saw fear come out of the market, but the dollar started to come up, which hit gold and actually retraced the major indices. We've seen oil continuing to sell off, yields just coming up, and bond prices coming down a little. There's a little bit less risk-on activity inside the market, but overall it's quite healthy. It really depends what the DXY does from here. And when we look into the S&P 500 futures, we can see there's a strong smart money sell level at 39.96 and 50 cents, and we're just above a smart money buy level at 39.62 and 25 cents. The S&P 500 futures are currently 39.71 and 50 cents. We've got a lot of support below at 38.81 and going down to 38.63. The concept is, if we actually saw, and the key thing to also keep in mind is that Bitcoin moves in directional correlation with the major indices. If the major indices start to sell down, they could get caught at levels of support below, but we would expect Bitcoin to come down with it because we know Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. However, if the S&P 500, if the futures continue to move up and take out this 39.96 level, the next resistance level is up at 40.92. On the inflation front, we've seen the Fed balance sheet continue to shrink and shrink and shrink. It's literally fallen off a cliff. And we can see the 5-year and 10-year break-even inflation rates also coming down. This is actually really good for the market, but the concept is it destroys demand, and that's no good for anyone. When turning to the MSCI All Country World Index, the ACWI, it represents 23 developed markets and 24 emerging markets. It's kind of global in nature. And what do we see? We're on an upward support at present. When we look at the federal funds rate prediction for April of 2023, it's currently just a little under 5%, and we can see the yields starting to kick up. As the yields kick up, it throws pressure on the stock market major indices, and that also throws pressure on Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is going down, you know exactly what's going to happen to your beloved alts. They're going to come down, or at least 99% of them will. 1% will escape that gravity. They're called inverters. And looking into the health of the overall stock market, when we look at the S&P 500 and the 9 sell-offs and recoveries since 1966, we've actually done quite well. We've actually rallied up, and we haven't broken down like what happened in the GFC. And the good thing is that we can see China actually starting to repair its economic system. Most of the global indices are actually coming up, and poor old Bitcoin has been hit by SBF. SBF nuked crypto. And there is potentially more pain to come as we unravel the contagion effects. We do know that Alameda Research and FTX Ventures portfolio is wide and encompassing. And if your beloved cryptos fall on this list, please just keep a very, very close eye on them. I'd like to explain Rule 7 from the Masterclass. Buying creates profits. A lot of people think that if the price is coming down on any specific thing, be it crypto, be it stocks, be it whatever, if the price is coming down, they can't make money. Literally, it depends where you buy. If stocks or crypto or anything, commodities, is actually going up and you buy when it's going up, people feel very good about that because they can see the paper profits increasing. But if that suddenly turns around, what do? It's literally where you buy creates profit. And just getting a concept how most people buy inside financial markets. when prices are rallying. It's like a Christmas sale. People go absolutely crazy. They're after anything and everything, and they expect that sale will last forever. It's just not the case. We need to think like retail shoppers, not retail investors. We need to think, well, if it's on sale, if crypto is on sale, yeah, I'll buy at layers and levels down. And that's what we teach inside the masterclass. One thing to always keep in mind is this little cartoon. This is the retail herd just on the dance floor, as I call it, on the market floor. They're watching price go up and they're pretty excited while it's going up. But when it inevitably comes down, what do? They evacuate. They literally evacuate. They leave the building. Hang on a second, something's wrong here. How is price coming up when all the people have left the dance floor? Because the best songs are playing, and the best songs are playing right now. But you must know what you're doing, of course. You must have knowledge. You need knowledge and courage. The market penalizes gambling, so please don't gamble. If you don't know what you're doing, just accumulate the knowledge. But you certainly don't want to be like these people, running away when the best music is playing. And you can see when the dance floor is fundamentally empty, right here, that's when price starts to come up. Because institutions know how to manipulate the emotion of the retail traders and investors. They know retail traders and investors go crazy when prices are going up and evacuate when prices are going down. Our whole focus as a community is to help people move away from Zone 1 and Zone 2. And how do you know if you're in Zone 1 or Zone 2? If you have massive amounts of anxiety or anger, that's Zone 1 and Zone 2. If you feel that the world is against you, that's Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 3 and Zone 4 is a peaceful zone. It's where we don't think that the world is against us at all, because it actually isn't. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we hold ourselves completely and utterly accountable, and we realize only we can be against ourselves. Therefore, we focus on learning, creating rules, having patience, and looking at probabilities. We make this three-way decision making. We understand percentages. We understand so many things that inside Zone 1 and Zone 2 would seem from another planet. The thing to also understand, being addicted to the news can actually put you on the wrong side of the percentage and on the wrong side of the trade pretty much all the time. Having indicators will also do the same thing. Indicators are primarily backward looking. They can give you an understanding of what happened to price, but they can't tell you what price is going to do. Only price action can do that. When you feel like fleeing the market or going all in on the market as well, just take a step backwards, because the price is always moving in a wave. With all indices and cryptos, it's always the same thing. You just want to bear in mind what happens. You get all of this circular motion in and out, up and down. You want to time things, but don't worry about trying to actually exactly pick the bottom or exactly pick the top. Professionals don't even care about such things. It's very important to supplement your knowledge. And Masterclass students, please look at LV25, Midterm Election Volatility Secrets You Need to Know, and also BORSOG Secrets, LV21. They will really help you out at times like this. I mentioned that the DXY is quite important, and it's coming up to a smart money resistance level at 106.998. So far, it has been rejected from that, but we have to see if that actually holds. If we see the dollar start to retreat, that's really, really good for crypto. We may see a lot of upward momentum inside the crypto industry. And that could catch a lot of people off guard, because people are reading contagion headlines and just thinking the end is nigh. The world is about to implode. The world will not implode. That's why we have Rule 252, prepared and not scared. We need to be prepared, and we need to fight fear, actually to replace it with courage. When we look at the greatest gainers in the top 100 over the past 24 hours, we can see predominantly stable coins. When stable coins are in the top 100 greatest gainers, this means absolute panic has struck the crypto market. And what does panic actually look like? It looks like that. When people start to run away, it looks like that. Now, what is price doing when people are running away? They're off the dance floor. The best songs are playing. But you need to be a professional. You need to know what you're doing. You need to have the knowledge. But just remember, price is coming up as every single person flees, except those in Zone 3 and Zone 4. And the greatest losers in the top 100, Chiliz, Algo, TWT, ETHW, APT, NEAR, and Arweave. And it's really interesting because we've been looking at Chiliz recently. And we can also notice the wallets in here, TWT. TWT did quite well, it did really well just recently. And a big thank you to David who shared this particular site. When we're looking at fan cryptos, we can see a lot of them have been heavily hit. It's really important to understand the personalities of the crypto that you're dealing with. Yes, they do have personalities, and we talk about crypto personality analysis inside the masterclass. When we look at Chiliz, we've always seen that this is a very strong smart money sell level at around the 28.42 level. And what actually happened when it tried to get through that, and this is going back a little bit of time, it had a big down candle, and then what happened? It had another big down candle. And what about this? A massive reversal, and then just wobbling around a bit, trying to find support, and then it's come to the current day. I actually mentioned that we had this smart money resistance. If we got through it or not was up to the power inherent in Chiliz and the fan tokens. But I also said I've been buying this, and placing your orders down is the way to go. And we excel at this inside the masterclass. There's no joy like having an order filled that you've placed way below price. We either win or learn, and that's part of the CTKS creed. The concept is what we saw in past price action is that this particular ceiling was hit and it had a monstrous reaction to it. And we can see that we've had a similar kind of thing. Do we expect more negative momentum inside Chiliz? Yes, it could possibly happen. And personally, I have buy levels all the way down because I like what Chiliz is doing at the moment. Doesn't mean I want to hold Chiliz long term. Not necessarily. I'm a trader. I'm in and out. But I know getting on the right side of the percentage is really important because it can do enormous things for your portfolio. Rule 307 is a great one. Excitement is a delayed fill. That actually means you're focused on capturing the negative momentum inside different movements. And you can see when it gets really sharp, it can inverse sharply. Well done to everybody who actually said in the comments, sharp angles reflect or reverse. Well done. And when we look at the top 8 cryptos, we're looking on a percentage basis at the moment. Also having a look at how Bitcoin's gravitational pull is aligning. We can see Bitcoin coming down. What's happening to these cryptos? They're coming down in accordance with Bitcoin's gravity. This is the way of the crypto market. And that's why we have Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And one thing to keep in mind, the steeper the sell-off, the greater the resulting opportunities come from it. Just please keep that one in your back pocket. It's really important to understand how cryptos move. They're the most exponential asset class amongst all the investment asset classes out there. And looking at the exchange tokens, we can see that Crypto.com is still in a lot of trouble. Its native token is under warning duress, and HT is also. BNB, Binance, looks pretty good. OKB looks okay. KuCoin looks alright. And Gate looks okay as well. We saw that the wallet token Trust Wallet TWT was also amongst the greatest losers, but it put in an epic performance as the FTX debacle came to light. And what is this all about? When you have a very sharp increase in price, they often need to digest. And sometimes they digest all the way back to the base. And we can see SFP has been doing quite well, and it's retracing. What typically happens is retail investors and traders get in when the price is going up, and when the trend starts to weaken, they stay in and they get trapped. If you get trapped inside a trade, you've probably been attracted in because price has been going up and up. It's like a Boxing Day sale. You don't want to be like those shoppers. Inside the masterclass, we're all about tracking investor attention, and price is the reality. Promise is a promise, but price is always the truth. So we mark up our charts with the CTKS method, and we get to learn the crypto's personality so that we can better understand it. And the CTKS method applies to stocks and commodities and everything, just everything. So you can apply it to anything. And then we look beyond the charts. That's why I actually check the charts of the world events, trying to determine are the world markets starting to actually weaken, or are they in an uptrend? Do they look healthy or do they look sick? And it's just basically a retrace from all we can see at the present time. The market, the crypto market, has been hit by FTX. And Sam, what a bad thing you've done. And Caroline, how could you? But there are always things to look for, always opportunities inside the market each and every day, even on days like today. But that takes a lot of courage, and we have to master fear before we actually buy or sell. If you're not mastering your emotional control, if your emotions are controlling you, and that's primarily what fear does, if that is the case, if you're not still, if you don't have inner and outer peace, you can know that fear is controlling you. If that's the case, you will buy and sell at the wrong times. And it's just a thing that we all go through to get to zone 3 and zone 4. So if this is happening, it's just a learning step along the path. Don't feel bad about it. Just the concept is do whatever you can to get away from that. To embrace courage is the core ideal. And Tales from the Man Cave said in yesterday's video, how do we overcome fear when buying? We learn crypto technical analysis so that you can make an informed judgment on what the probability for further price decline might be. And the key is to start small and scale. This is what it's all about. And when you buy at a discount, the actual resulting uptick is far, far more. For example, 10-5-10 is all about if you buy something at $10 and in crypto and it just falls to $5, but then it goes back to $10, you saw a 50% decrease followed by a 100% increase. We as professionals understand percentages, and those percentages can work for you in a major way. Overcoming fear when holding. Do not use leverage, just buy at spot, and then you can just sit price volatility out. If you're really focused on what you're doing, that means you don't want to gamble. You must know what you're doing. And Tails said, if your buying choice was informed to begin with, you will notice that things do turn around eventually. Spot on, Tails. And Tails also explains that understanding how lowering your cost basis on a downswing enables you to exit earlier also helps. The concept of buying in levels or layers down is actually dragging your average buy price down, and that's what you want to do. That creates more profitability to the upside. Tails also said, have the discipline to have dry powder, which is free cash, available at all times. It's an absolute pro thing to do, and it's really important to do. And if you're doing your levels correctly, you'll always have that dry powder. And a lot of people say, oh no, Ken, I just want to go all into the market. I want to make my money work for me. The way you make your money work for you professionally is you wait for price to come to you. And how do we overcome fear when we are selling? If in profit, the fear is that we sell too early, but as long as we sell in profit, we are golden. And that's really true. You don't want to sell at a loss, you want to sell at a profit. A lot of people are focused on hitting the top, and when you actually focus on that, you'll probably miss it because you only know the top is the top after the top, and that really hurts a lot of times. Overcoming fear, especially on a day like today, is really, really important. The news headlines will be blood red, of course, because the market is blood red. They have to talk about how the market is reflecting current sentiment, and that's what reporters do. Rajat said, the way to overcome fears is to clearly define our investment and trading objective, the time frame, the return on investment, things like that. Apply the CTKS methodology to understand the technical setup, price action, macro environment, markets for focus, and then buy on red, sell on green. Rule 621 is incredibly powerful, but it's incredibly difficult to actually implement unless you're in Zone 3 and Zone 4. Rajat also said, just be a positive, excellent person and you will find success because success will be attracted to you. And positive excellence is really important to have as your guiding light. As Crypto Turtle said, positive excellence will forever be with me. I win and I learn too. And be kind to others from our community. That's a valuable lesson. Thank you, CT. Crypto Turtle says, how do I combat fear? Well, I'm no longer worried about red days in the market. In fact, I'm waiting for it because that's when I buy. And if I can't buy, I can't sell. Rule 5 from the Masterclass is a great one. You can always buy lower. I am confident in myself and I trust my lines and I believe in the CTKS charts, and that's a result of the hard work and pain I went through in the masterclass. And the masterclass is difficult, it's not easy. What I'm trying to do is to transfer more than 3 decades of knowledge and expertise and experience to you. It's knowledge transfer. It's unlike anything that you will ever experience anywhere else. And Miles said, without the dedication, commitment, and hard work, you would not have confidence and self-belief. And this applies to everyone. Thank you, Miles. And Brett says, hard work is what it takes and hard work pays the rewards. In Zones 1 and Zones 2, people want the hard work to be done by somebody else. They're certainly not doing it. They want the roast duck to fly into their open mouths. And the concept is that Confucius said, man who waits for roast duck to fly into their open mouth must wait a very, very long time. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we realize we have to do it. If we're going to be successful, we make ourselves successful through our attitudes first. And one of those attitudes is positive excellence. The main core of positive excellence is actually inner peace and outer peace. This sounds a bit weird to people looking from a Zone 1 and Zone 2 perspective. It's like, whoa, I don't want inner and outer peace. I want conflict. I want passion. I want excitement. They're all fun. But seriously, not having inner peace means you can't have happiness. And not having outer peace means you can't form good relationships with other people. Outer peace is always the result of a lack of conflict. And conflict destroys everything that it touches. And conflict comes from blame. And blame comes from entitlement. When people feel entitled to things, when they haven't put in the work and they don't get it, they will blame someone else. That's classic Zone 1, Zone 2 behavior. And Purpuratum said, uncertainty has absolutely no space in trading. And that is a very, very fine thing to share, my friend. This really deserves a lot of attention on fear. Fear, how do you overcome fear? When you buy, when you hold, and when you sell. I think we need to keep this discussion going for a couple of videos, and I'll keep on reading our comments because this is the time when this really, really helps so many people. So please write more. I think we could write so much on this. It's just going to help so many people, and that's what we're here as a community to do. We're here to lift others up. And we're also here to be real and to help others by actually saying how things actually work in life. As the video is getting a little long, I'll just leave it here. But the concept is that I'll be sharing more of these enormously powerful comments in upcoming videos. Please keep it up. Sharing your knowledge is something that could help just one person. And if it does that, wow, mission accomplished. That's already awesome. On days like today, the CTKS creed is absolutely critical to keep in your mind. If you keep that little cartoon in mind, you know people are leaving the dance floor. When you see so much red across the board, it's easy to think, whoa, I'm out of here. I got it wrong. Professionals do not think in this way. Professionals know we either win or we learn, and we never blame. We must be kind to ourselves and kind to others. Why is that important? Because when you're kind to yourself, you can learn. You can learn to set, potentially, your buys a little bit lower and just spread them out. You learn about how the market moves and the fact that each crypto has its own distinct personality. And it's likely to repeat the same kind of stuff that it's done previously. There's a really good statement that delays are not denials, and that's something that you want to keep first and foremost in your mind. Just because something has not worked out this time, that doesn't mean it won't work out next time. That's why the first line of the CTKS creed is, I know the universe wants me to succeed. On days where you feel anger, frustration, all of those negative emotions, the second line becomes really, really hard to implement, but it's vital to do so. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. There are always opportunities inside the crypto market, as there are inside any market. But the opportunities in crypto are really volatile to the upside when you land them. So that's a good thing to think about. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.